Is running meditative or mindful? Or can it be both? Well, today that's what I'm going to talk about, so stay tuned. So first, it's probably worth me describing what the difference is between mindfulness and meditation, because people often get those things confused. Well, meditation is, there's lots of different kinds, but the commonest way to think about it is a state of deep relaxation. You're alert, but you're not bothered by all the clutter in your mind. And when you do that, it allows for certain thoughts to become clear and stuff to penetrate your brain and say to you, you've not thought about this for a while, is that a problem? Maybe you should address it. And meditation helps, well, it certainly helps me come to decisions about things. It helps me sort out some of the chaos in my life, and it does it with a clear mind. So that's what I think of with meditation. Mindfulness, on the other hand, is about being in the present moment. Mindfulness is about not being concerned about the past. You can't do anything about that. And more importantly, not worrying about the future, because there is absolutely nothing you can do about that because it hasn't happened. You can influence things and you can make decisions that might give you a better outcome, but you've no idea. I mean, I could just suddenly drop dead right now. I feel like I'm going to on this run. There's no point in me worrying about that because I can't control that. It's going to happen or it won't. And a lot of anxiety, particularly in this day and age, we spend so much time worrying about what if, and most of that doesn't ever happen. So we create what's called a negative internal narrative that tells us a story that isn't actually happening. So mindfulness can help pull you back from that, bring you into the present moment and stop you feeling that way. So how does running help with that? And how can you have mindful running and meditative running? Well, a lot of it depends on how fit you are. Running, if you're unfit and you start doing a couch to 5k, will be extremely taxing. And when that's happening and your lungs are on fire and your legs are burning and your feet hurt and your friends are saying, shut up, stop complaining, you cannot think about the future. You can only think about the present because it's in your face and it's kicking you in the face with every step saying, pay attention to what you're doing. Don't stop, keep going, ignore your lungs, ignore your legs. So in the beginning, when you're unfit, running is very, very mindful. Now, once you've got that original unfitness out your system and you're feeling invigorated and you're beginning to enjoy running, that's where it can be both mindful and it can be meditative. And how can it be both? So first up is the meditative aspect. And I find the easiest way to demonstrate that is by talking about the difference between road running and trail running. And road running, once you get into your stride, once you've recovered your breathing and you're just kind of in the zone, that's very meditative because you don't have to think about anything. You just follow the road, follow the path, follow the track, whatever it is. And your mind can actually wander, and it does make sense of a lot of issues that perhaps have been going on in your brain. And believe me, it really works. So think of road running as meditative running. That's how I would describe it. Okay, on to mindful running. This is the Shire, which is a little dell somewhere. It's private property, but there is a right of way through here, which we'll be going on. But what's the difference between meditative running, there we go, right of way, and mindful running? Well, this is mindful because although, I mean, I think I was born talking, so I can talk and run at the same time, but I'm having to pay attention because this landscape is full of like tussocks and like look at this trail going up there. I mean, you have to pay attention, and if you're not paying attention, you'll roll your ankle or you'll hurt yourself or you'll fall, something like that. So when I talk about mindful running, what I'm usually meaning is trail running, because being on a trail requires quite a lot of concentration. And when I'm concentrating on the trail and the terrain and the lack of a path and the potholes and actually potholes could be anywhere in East Lothian, but anyway, these sort of rabbit holes, badger sets, all that kind of stuff, you really do have to concentrate. You can't let your mind wander, because if you let it wander, you'll have an accident. And in that way, running can be very mindful. Oh, yeah, bugger. Jesus. This kind of running is definitely mindful running. You've got to pay attention. Right, I'm now running in Farmer McGregor's field. Look at these cabbages. Look at that. That's insane. Unfortunately, it's a clay field and it's very, very hard to run in. But mindfulness means I have to concentrate on that. So what does that do? Well, it takes away my ability to think about things that happened yesterday, things that might happen today. All I can think about right now is not breaking my ankle and making sure that I don't slip or fall or create some comedy bloopers for this video, because this is actually very treacherous. So I hope you can see the difference there between mindful running and meditative running. I'm sure there's points, for example, if you became very proficient at trail running or fell running, that you could find it very meditative. That doesn't work for me. Oops, as you can see. And if you want to explore meditative running, get yourself fit, but take your time. It takes a long time to be able to run 5 or 10k without thinking too much about it. And that will show you what I mean by, I'm gonna have to get off this, sorry. That will show you what I mean by meditative running. And then once you can do that, go run some trails, particularly in the winter time. They're a lot more fun than running on boring old roads. And it's probably a bit safer as well. The cars screeching around corners and the snow and ice. And when you can do that, you can really practice mindful running. And once you can do both of those well, you can wake up in the morning, make a decision. Do I need some meditation or do I need some mindfulness? And then choose your poison, as it were. Okay, I hope that made sense. And I hope you enjoyed that video. Please leave a comment if you're looking for something else. I'll try and make a video about it. And remember to like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Nice.